The internet is a wonderful place. We get so much out of it, from entertainment, news, job opportunities, social media, and education. And with the rise of content creators, influencers, anyone can go up there and broadcast their piece of information. Now the thing is, this information doesn't have to be reviewed or verified. So essentially, and that's something that I say a lot, you can go on the internet and say whatever you want. Now, I don't want you to think that this is a serious video about misinformation or disinformation, the difference being intent. No, I actually made this video because there's a couple of channels that I absolutely love that tell lies. Eventually, those creators exclusively almost broadcast lies. But let's start from the beginning. I wanted to show you an example because a while ago, years ago, I saw this video interviewing someone who was doing fun facts on YouTube. And of course, it was a big thing at the time. Every channel was being like 50 fun facts, 50 unknown facts and things like that. And everyone loved them. And it was easy to get monetized and actually make a bunch of money doing those. So that YouTuber started doing exactly that. Finding fun facts, going on websites and all of that. The problem is that they wanted to output more videos. They wanted to post more and they were running out of facts very, very fast. So they decided, hey, people don't really remember those facts. Like, it's pure entertainment. So why not just make them up? And then they started making those facts up and no one would correct them, like, ever. And if someone would correct them, I don't remember if they were deleting comments or not. And it sucks because there's an interview, there's a video out there, but I can't find it. I really tried to find it for this video, but I can't find it. Anyways, so they started doing more and more, and then there was the whole paranormal era of YouTube that was really blowing up. So they started doing like ghost hunting and paranormal facts and blah, blah, blah. And only when they got really entrenched in the lie and started being part of the paranormal community did they ever get called out for the first time. And it got pretty bad. People were out for them. I'm pretty sure they received a bunch of threats. And to me, it's a beautiful story. It's a wild, crazy story, but I love it. I know the YouTuber Jack Films had a series where he would Photoshop an image with a fun fact attached that would sound real. And the goal was to basically post it on Facebook and dupe people. But I digress. Those channels become super entertaining as long as you're in on the joke. It's kind of like knowing the magic trick and watching the magician fool everyone else and them asking, oh my God, how did it do that? Is this real magic? And it's comedy at the end of the day, as long as it's not misinformation or disinformation or anything serious. Let me give you an example. There's a video game called Project Zomboid, and it's a zombie survival type game. The gameplay tries to be as realistic as possible. So your character has to eat, has to drink, has to sleep. You can have broken bones, you can get into car accidents and all of that type of stuff. Meaning that the players get to be very immersed in the game and really connect with their characters. After surviving for a long time, when your character finally dies, you feel sad, you know? You really feel sad. So my own experience with the game is, after playing for a while and really connecting with this game, I thought, it would be pretty cool if maybe there was like a TV show about the game or inspired by the game. So naturally, I went on Google and I typed Project Zomboid show. And to my surprise, there was a couple of results. So I started clicking, it was mostly on TikTok, and I started seeing those slideshows. People being like, oh, those are images from the show. The show is on HBO and it's called Project Zomboid. And there's this frame of this soldier that is clearly about to die saying, we are Zomboid or something like that. So I was like, oh, maybe I should get into that. I should start watching the show. So I started scrolling more to see more clips or more images. It was mostly images they were sharing. They were sharing characters, naming them by name, saying, oh, this character is related to that character. And everything seemed coherent. I want you to pay attention to that. Everything seemed coherent. We would have multiple accounts basically showing the same actor and calling that same actor by the same name as if it was an actual character from the show that everyone knew about. There were lore points. There were specific things that happened in the show that, again, multiple videos, multiple accounts would talk about, would mention. It made me believe that, oh, there is a show about Project Zomboid. That's awesome. So I started looking it up. And honestly, like, let me cut it straight, it doesn't exist. It's not it's not a show. It is not a thing. It's an inside joke that the Zomboid community on TikTok decided to start with, and then they pretty much made up a bunch of things, but they kind of went with each other. So like a lot of the videos are coherent, a lot of the plot points, a lot of especially the characters and their relationship to each other, they made up a show that doesn't exist, and they kept posting about it. They were like, oh, I'm so sad that this character died. And then you scroll down and a completely different account at a completely different time would be like, oh yes, that specific character with that specific name died at this episode in this season. And I'm like, oh my God. First of all, I was frustrated. But then after learning the truth, when I get one of those videos or one of those posts on my For You page, it became humorous. I was in on the joke from now on, and it was just great. And it was very, very fun to see this whole trend expand and people add more information and more information. People would like slowly get together. Well, they wouldn't get together at all. They would just post. One person would be like, oh yeah, season 6. And then everyone else from now on would be like, okay, there is at least 6 seasons. And they would really, really try hard to make their post coherent. And I don't know, I hated it when I found out. And now I just love it that there's a small community out there pretending that a show exists and posting information about that show. All right, now the real reason I'm making this video is because I want to tell you about one of my favorite TikTok channels, TikTok accounts, and it's one called Mr. Movie. Now, Mr. Movie appeared to me on my For You page as a movie recommendation channels. There's a bunch of them just telling you, hey, here's the top 5 documentaries, or here's the scariest documentary on Netflix, here's the scariest movie you can watch this year, and all of that. The thing is, every movie that he would post about seemed awesome. Most of the time would really seem awesome, and he would seem very excited about those movies. Sometimes saying, oh, I just finished watching this, or I had a hard time watching this, or I had to take a break watching this. And then one day I decided, you know what? Whatever you're describing right now seems so good. Let me look it up. Let me try to find it. You probably guessed by now with the subject of the video and everything. Pretty much none of the movies or documentaries he was mentioning were real. He was making them up from scratch. Like all of them was basically from his own imagination. And at first it was just him, on camera explaining the movie or the documentary and why it's the scariest thing ever. And it will give you like a basic plot line and tell you gotta watch it. But then the comments also would be like, oh my God, I struggled to watch that. Oh my God, I was so scared. Oh my God, like this gave me shivers. So basically everyone else was in on the joke, and the comments are full of people agreeing and saying that, yes, I watched this and it was very scary. But then you also have people who were in my position who were like, hey, I tried to look this up and I couldn't find it. And he would reply, it's on Netflix. Do you have Netflix? Have you tried restarting your router? And just humorous answers like that. But that can definitely be frustrating if you're actually looking for a movie. So when I found him, it was basically just him talking to the camera, but at some point he started putting up posters. So he would basically Photoshop those posters. He would put them together and tell you, hey, this movie just came out, or this movie's coming up soon, and it's amazing. It's the funniest thing ever. Now he's actually like filming scenes, so he would show you like fake trailers and go all out on the fake movies. And it's, now that I'm in on the joke, it's the best thing ever. And I love his TikTok account just because of that. But here's the thing, he becomes an actual movie recommendation channel that is quite popular. He has a following and all that. So some real movies, very, very real movies, would pay him, would sponsor him to advertise their movies when they're coming out. So now you have a mix of very, very fake things mixed with very, very real things. So sometimes he pops on my page and I'm like, I don't know if this is real actually. I'm gonna check the comments, or I'm gonna have to do some research to figure out, is this a joke or is this an actual promo? Well, usually you can figure it out by seeing that he was sponsored or something. But overall, I think it's one of the funniest things ever to, I don't know, somehow create an inside joke that can be enjoyed by thousands of people. At first, you get confused. Then you look it up, you realize you've been fooled, and then now you're part of the joke. You can help perpetrate those funny jokes. And because of that, now you can find me in his comments, basically supporting his movies. I am one of those who will say, oh my God, I remember watching this. It was so scary. Hi, I'm Gal Level. Thank you so much for watching this video. I just like to yap about different stuff, including movies. So if you're into improvised movie essays or just general internet culture analysis, make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you next time.